So we've reached a pivotal moment in the court case against these vaccine mandates here in the Northern Territory. We finally received, after nearly 8 weeks of notice, the Chief Health Officer's affidavit laying out his evidence on why his decision to put these mandates in place is justified. Now, if you've seen what we've been able to see, you would be so disappointed in how much contempt the Chief Health Officer and the Gunner government has held us as Territorians. We are at a point in time where, based on the evidence provided, there's so much more scope for us to fight this decision-making process. We were quite surprised, to be honest. We had a modicum of trust that a proper process would have been put in place and some fairly good evidence would be provided. But seeing what we've seen, we see now that there is so much more scope for us to challenge. And so we're at a point where we need to make a decision. Do we challenge on all fronts based on the weakness of the arguments put forward by the CHO's evidence, or do we continue on with the reasonably narrow approach that we had taken from the beginning? Now, we can carry on exactly as we are and fight on the grounds we originally expected to fight on, or we can reach out to people like you and ask for more support so that we can fight on every single grounds that are available. And our preference is now to go in with all our resources to bear against these ridiculous mandates. And so what we're doing now is asking for more support. We need in the region of at least $100,000 in order to be able to competently argue the facts and really hold this government to account for their terrible decision in implementing these mandates. So what we're asking for is your support. We know that a lot of people have already stepped up in public and in private and have supported the cause both monetarily and in other forms of support. But now what we really need is for everyone to dig deep, to stand up for what's right, and to really hold this government to account for the terrible decision-making process and the division that they have caused in our community.
So is there any urgency or time frame on collecting extra money?
Yes, there's a lot of urgency. The final court case date is looming. Mm-hmm. We've been slated in now to be heard starting on the 19th of April. So we need to move quickly so we can mobilise our legal team to spend the extra time and effort that's needed to really drill down into every single legal argument and hold the Chief Health Officer to account and this Gunner government to account for what they've done, for the division that they've created in our community and for the harm that they have caused for individuals and for local businesses.
Basically what you're saying is that the scope of the legal attack against the government is being made broader by what has come forward from the CHO affidavit, that's going to take more resources, more time, and as everybody knows, the legal system is very expensive, so there's a need for more money. That's what you're saying.
We can carry on as we are. The scope has broadened, and we can bring in junior lawyers and paralegals to sift through the information and come up with arguments. Mm-hmm. But we don't think that will do this argument justice. We want to have the best legal team, the best legal minds working on this case. Mm-hmm. And for us to be able to continue to do that, we require extra support. Mm-hmm. Now, we've been blessed to be able to bring onto this case as the expert, the medical expert, Professor Nikolai Petrovsky. Mm-hmm. He is the only person in Australia who has actually developed a vaccine against COVID-19. He knows this illness, this disease and virus inside out. And we've been, through the support of people here in the Northern Territory, we've been able to have his services to the court so he can explain the actual medical situation, the scientific situation. There is so much misinformation out there, and a lot of it is being obscured by slogans and big statements from government. And what's important is that we're able to bring that level of expertise to this argument. Now, for us to do that, we need to expand the legal team's time to argue the broader scope that has been made obvious to us through seeing the evidence of the Cho, if you could even call it that.
Yes, I understand that some of the evidence is, well, much of what's being put forward is it's not in depth, it's shallow.
Look, we can't go into a lot of detail. Suffice to say that the scope has broadened considerably,
Yeah.
and we've seen that the legal team their confidence has grown since seeing the Cho's affidavit. We've got some of the best legal minds in Australia working on this. This isn't just a Northern Territory team, even though a local lawyer is spearheading the arguments. We've got lawyers from all around the country and support from all around the country. This is so important to us as a nation, as a territory, and as a local community. These mandates have split up communities and they've split up families. They've divided even people individually. There's so much mental health problem now caused by these mandates, and Michael Gunner can grow a mullet for as long as he likes. The damage he has caused, no mullet can save him from that.
So is everything being done the most economical way? Look, I understand that some of the legal advice is being, there's not been a charge on some of it, or
yeah, that's
or
right.
Are you paying full tote odds for everything?
No, so we have been blessed to have a legal team that understands that they are standing for the community, and they've reflected that in their charge rates to us. We've had so many offers of support, like I said before, so many people have come forward, both monetarily and with other in-kind donations, and even just something as simple as a wave and a love what you're doing, thanks for standing up for us. All that matters. Right now, though, we need to support our legal team, and we need to give them all the resources that we can bring to hand so that they can fight for us as hard as possible. So we have secured the best legal minds in the country. They are working very hard to form the arguments. Now, for us having a bigger scope, it means they need more time, and the only way we get more time is to devote extra resources to them.
Hence the request for extra money.
That's right.
And it's a substantial amount.
It is a substantial amount, but even the judge in the case on Tuesday at our directions hearing said to us that she sees now that the scope of the arguments have grown to the point where the initial time period in court may not be enough time to actually hear all the arguments. So she has slated in an extra 2 days of court time to hear the argument. So this reflects the fact that initially we thought we were dealing with a half-competent government and a half-competent approach by the CHO. That has all been thrown out the window. We were so naive to think that people would have done their job properly. So now we need to expand our scope and put more effort into expanding the arguments.
Well, there's a lot of money that's needed. Hopefully people will dig deep. It can't be done without it.
That's right. It cannot be done. We will fight for as long and as hard as we can. The legal team has done a stellar job to date, and their confidence is growing day by day. We know that the government is on the ropes with this. We know through Darwin in particular being a small place and hearing the things we hear that this government did not expect this level of fight, and it's really thrown them off. So if I can encourage everyone to have faith, to have trust in the team and in what we're doing, that the best arguments will be put forward, and we will make sure that this government is held to account for the disastrous decision to force people, to force workers to get vaccinated or lose their jobs, lose their homes, lose everything that they've worked for, their careers, and force businesses to do the job of government.
So it actually, the benefits of it go beyond just beyond United NT businesses. It's going to flow on throughout the whole of the community.
That's right.
Yeah.
And not just the whole of the community.
Yeah.
This will send shockwaves around the country when we win, because it will show that the governments and the chief health officers have not acted in the best interests of public health. They have acted for other motives. I won't speculate, but we can all make our own opinions up about the reasons behind it. What we can say is, having seen what we've seen, we have no confidence that the decisions were made in the interests of public health and to protect the community. And in fact, the consequences of these decisions have been catastrophic for a lot of people. So we've seen businesses close down, we've seen families torn apart, we've seen individuals suffer mentally and physically, because there's been some people who've said, I will follow the medical advice and I will go and get vaccinated, and they have had catastrophic reactions.
And the government's not shown any sign of backing away from the next mandate, is that right?
Well, it seems like there's mixed messaging. So I guess we'll have to wait and see. As a group, as United NT Businesses, we will continue to act in the best interest of our members. Our members just want to be left alone to go about their business, to continue supporting their families, to continue providing for their staff, and to continue contributing to our local community. And forcing their staff to get vaccinated, otherwise the business owner has to sack them, does not contribute to that.
Yeah, freedom is an essential thing in our society.
That's
and
right.
that freedom has been
That's
taken.
right.
Yeah.
Threatening someone's job is not freedom.
No, it's not. Yeah.
Right? So
Absolutely.
that's where we're at. We're asking for your support. We need it fast. We have very easy methods to donate. Just go to our website, unitedntbusinesses.org, and there's a donation page on there. You can give any amount that you feel comfortable with, but where we're at now is we are looking for at least an extra $100,000 to be able to argue to the full capacity that we can each of the items on the expanded scope that have come about.
So urgency would be a word. It needs to be done.
It needs
now.
to be done now. So we ask everyone to dig deep and to support the cause, because this will bring freedom and stability back to our community and begin the process of healing the wounds that these atrocious mandates have created. It will not happen overnight, but together, when we come together again, without demonising individuals for their freedom of choice, we can start to work together and heal the wounds.
Very good.
Thank you.